You're listening to the ReachCast Show, your weekly stop for the latest and greatest in the PlanetSide 2 universe and its community.
Welcome, everybody. It's April 1st, 2013, and you're listening to episode 27 of the ReachCast Show. I am your host, Torkz, and with me tonight are my two wonderful co-hosts. First off, Noxx.
Hello, guys.
And the Deringer.
In the hizzy.
We are brought to you by pet cleaning products everywhere, and, great listeners like you. Check out our show, support the show. There's donations, there's links for Amazon when you shop on Amazon. It's free to you, doesn't cost anything, just gives us a kickback. Just click on the link and then
t-shirts.
And t-shirts, yeah, that's right. We have all of our t-shirt campaigns.
Still on sale.
All of our
You
t-shirt
only had a
campaigns.
few of each of them pledged so far, and no NC again.
Oh, no one from the NC loves us. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, we only play with Devil Dogs every week.
Speaking of that,
Basically every day I play for now.
Speaking of that, the outfits we play with this week, we all play with our Imperial Reach at ImperialReach.com, and play with 666 Devil Dogs, which is PlanetSide-DevilDogs.com. And for the show, we have Game Update 6, some good emails I liked, and some good feedback on the Community Clash segment we did last week. So let's get to it, shall we?
I'm going to get these mosquitoes in the air and rain down some hellfires on those fools. Oh no! What the f***? I should have listened to the ReachCast patch notes.
Starting off with a bang, we're going to talk about the 327 server maintenance, and specifically the fact that they removed the deconstruct button from the vehicle info panel on the heads-up display.
Lots of tears about that one.
Loving
Lots
it.
of tears, lots of joy about that one, too. I know Jenny Boo, in particular, danced in her seat when that one was announced. Next up, the vehicle kill assist experience values were adjusted to appropriately scale with the recent bump in vehicle XP. And another huge thing that kind of slipped under the radar for a lot of people, they released another NS11, this time the NS11C, C which stands for Carbine, as I was quickly corrected by Jimmy. And this is now available in the depot for all Empires. I don't know about you two, but I have been getting killed left and right by NS11Cs.
I've been doing a lot of that killing. I love it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's my go-to carbine for my mid-range, for my light assault now.
It didn't unlock across all three characters for me, though. I was quite upset about that. Put a ticket in.
Did for me.
It did for everyone except me.
Oh, really? The last I knew, Noxx, it was just what you had said, that it hadn't unlocked across all, and I just assumed that it wasn't supposed to unlock across all, but if everybody else is getting it,
Well, it's an NS. It's supposed to. That's why I bought it.
I held off.
They can't do account-wide unlocks and then be like, all these new guns don't, though.
Well, I held off from buying the NS11C specifically after you said it didn't unlock across all your characters.
Well, yeah, I was certain it was me.
Well, I'll have to go in and purchase it.
And yeah, it's me. Other people did. What's funny is other things did work, like the anti-armor engineer turret. That did unlock across the account for me, so it's just some weird bug I guess I had.
Maybe I'll just skip talking about the Lancer and I'll go in and purchase that right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay, Torkz?
You do whatever you want. Sure.
Well,
hold on a second, guys, while Deringer buys his NS11C.
we need some hold music.
Elevator music?
We have some elevator music while I go in and do that purchase. Well, no.
That's not music, but okay.
Next up, there were some adjustments to my new favorite weapon in the game, the Lancer. They reduced the damage fall off, so now it starts at 500 meters and ends at 700 meters. The projectile speed now changes based on the charge level. They also they removed the fire delay from all charge levels. And they also reduced the time that it takes to reach each consecutive charge level. And you can also now hold the last charge level for a full 5 seconds before it will auto fire, and that's up from 4 seconds. And also the charge animation on the reticle is now much more precise and accurate than it was before. As I said, the Lancer is my new favorite weapon. Not solo, but when I'm in a group of 3 or 4 other Lancers, we absolutely decimate enemy armor.
Yeah, Dirty Vanu Scum can't do anything solo.
I was in a Prowler the day we were playing with IR, and I just got wrecked by Lancers. It was just like, clong, 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 all at once. I'm like, where'd those come from? I see these blue lines from just multiple directions, and I was like, I'm done for.
It's so easy to hip fire it, too.
Yeah, they scare me to death when I'm in the air. That's the funny thing, is I'm not normally worried about dump fires in the air, but I'm scared to death when I see Lancers.
So.
You say that, it's funny. I can't hit a flying target with my Lancer to save my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
I've been shot down countless times in my lib with them now. Like, I'll fly over.
What I find is, I think air pilots are smarter than tank pilots, because air pilots people in the air are constantly moving, it seems. They rarely stand still. Mm-hmm. Whereas anybody driving a tank is bound to stand still for a long period of time. And that's when the Lancer shines.
Just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of the beast.
Yeah, there were also adjustments made to the NC-15 Phoenix, which everyone seems to be hailing as the most overpowered of the faction-specific rocket launchers, Empire-specific rocket launchers, ESRLs. Now it does more damage against air targets, the same as a default rocket launcher. They reduced the reload time by 5,700 milliseconds down to 5,200 milliseconds. They fixed the projectile speed irregularity. This was causing the rocket to go much further than it should have before the player gained control of it, related to latency. They reduced the Phoenix speed by 10 kph, so it is moving slower now.
So it's easier to shoot down.
Yes. And they adjusted the camera to be more in line with the collision model on the rocket. Now, this thing, isn't there more to the Phoenix on what Torkz is going to talk about in 329, which came out after this stuff, that is really what makes it really good still. So, but I'll leave that for Torkz. Additionally, in this, there were the air-to-air lock-on tones should now be working correctly for all Empires, and there were server performance improvements.
I like how you downtoned at the end. Like, there were server performance improvements. I like that.
I don't like server performance improvements. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fun.
I don't like server performance improvements because it's a 50-50 shot that it's going to shoot my FPS in the toilet. But thankfully this one didn't.
As Noxx referred to, yeah, there was a 329 patch that went in, and the Phoenix got some changes as well as the Lancer. The main ones being the Phoenix. Yeah, I guess the best way they show up for people at a longer distance. So when you fire them, some people weren't seeing it as it was getting towards its target at the further out reach of the rocket. So basically, Phoenix rocket effects will show at a longer range for people now, and the Phoenix damage has been adjusted to basically deal more damage to air and increase damage to vehicles, but less to infantry, which is good because a lot of people are sniping infantry with it.
Right now, the Phoenix will not do enough damage to kill an infantry when you hit them.
But it absolutely rips vehicles.
Oh, it does.
I did a test in the VR, and it did 3/4 damage to a mag rider from behind.
Yeah, it's a beast of a rocket launcher. It's my favorite out of the three, personally.
Yeah.
I easily.
I mean, as much as I like the Lancer, I like the Phoenix more.
It's really good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just really good. The Lancer's been adjusted also, though. The bug that prevented some charging from to charges from level 1 to 2 and not lasting as intended was resolved, so you can actually charge it effectively and correctly now. And the cone of fire for the scope shots has been removed.
I'm going to say thank you to that cone of fire removal, because there are many times when you'd scope in, you'd get a full charge, you'd have a dead bead on your target, and you would absolutely miss.
Nice.
From cone of fire.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good. The Lancer is the weakest in power of the three, and It shouldn't have inaccuracies, I don't think.
Absolutely agree. For what it is, it definitely should not be inaccurate.
Yeah.
That's really all there is. There's a vehicle gunner experience award that's been adjusted higher. Basically, as a gunner for most vehicles, your bonus experience or your experience is a little bit higher. But that's really all. On to community briefing.
Attention, soldiers! Get your bus in here for this week's community briefing.
First up this week, we're going to briefly cover Friday Night Ops. Maggie was back in the driver's seat with Jimmy on Friday Night Ops this week after her brief hiatus last week. I was happy to that I got a brief shout out when Maggie went over her PAX East fun. They also said that not to worry, next week that they're going to start showing off some really cool in-game stuff. I know they were talking about previewing a little bit of Hassan in, if not this next week, very soon, shortly after that.
Which is like kind of almost depressing since we know we won't get it for 4 months.
Yeah, well, are we at the 3-month period now? Technically it's April.
I guess, but still, it's going to be like, I want it now.
Yeah, it is still a ways off.
Yeah, totally.
Well, next up, they had a interview with Chad Lichty, who's the lead animator on PlanetSide 2. Some of the things we took away from this interview is that they spend a lot of their time using programs such as Natural Motion, Maya, and Motion Builder. So if you are an interested animator on what they're doing in PlanetSide 2, those are the programs that they spend most of their time in, and you guys should be looking at as well.
From what I know, those are very common ones across the industry too. And because he did talk a bit about how to get into the industry, and his big thing was passion. You got to be passionate.
Yeah. Next up, he was asked how long it takes them to animate weapons, which I thought was a great question because I kind of wondered that one myself. And he said when they were initially designing the game, it was a 10-week period per weapon. And I thought to myself, God, that's insane. But now that there's a baseline and they're using a lot of the same models to create new ones, that now they're only looking at about a week per weapon, plus another 20 to 40 hours to completely polish off the specifics of each weapon to get them out the door.
Let's say similar models.
Similar models is exactly.
A big complaint people have is all the models look the same from the first-person view.
So and what he said was that they were using similar bones.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's a term used in one of those 3 programs that we mentioned before.
Well, in the command center, remember they showed off, like, they would move those little white lines to, like, move a chain of other things?
Right. So next up, he was asked by someone, and I won't give their name, what his favorite thing that he'd worked on so far. And he said that the VS reload animations were by far the favorite thing that he's been a part of so far. And he also said that these were some of the hardest things that they had to animate in the game, because those are the things that they open and shoot out the ammo containers, things like that.
It turns.
So I can understand why those would have taken the most time.
Different was the big thing, too.
Next up, he was asked about the Empire-specific run animations, and this was interesting because this is the first time we've actually been given some information on how they might look. And really, he kind of kept it just to one specific thing, and it's going to be mostly defined on how weapons are held when they're running. So he said, since the Vanu are more scientists and pacifists and things like that, that they would hold their weapons in a downward position, kind of like with the safety on when they're running, whereas the Terran Republic, being the highly militaristic people they are, would run with the barrels of their guns up in the air, and the NC would remain closest to what it is now, kind of at a midpoint when they're running with their weapons. So like I said, this was the first instance that we've kind of heard what someone specifically say, this is what we're thinking of doing with the Empire-specific run animation. So it'll be interesting to see something further down the road when those are closer to completion.
Makes way more sense compared to what I was thinking about.
Yeah, well, we all saw the video of the Vanu skating on 2 Mag Riders.
So yeah, that's cool. I like that stuff.
Next up, he said that they are working on a pass of some of the older weapons to give them some of the additional animations that are seen in the newer weapons that are coming out. And he also teased a brand new lasher. And Maggie's face lit up like it was Christmas morning when he said that. So I can tell that it's probably going to be good.
She didn't even know about it?
I think she did, but I think that she was still very excited that they were creating a new Lasher. And I'm excited to see what the new Lasher looks like. Cause
honestly, when I was watching your stream, it looked like an LMG.
Yeah, it does. And
I was like, this doesn't look like... Oh, I didn't know he's using a Lasher.
Sometimes I forget whether I have the Lasher or the SV88 active until I start firing it. And then remember, oh yeah, I've got the Lasher on.
Nice.
The last point on FNO was at the end, Clegg stopped by and he teased that he is working on Max rocket launchers, which was very interesting. He wouldn't give any more details besides that.
Oh, the animation.
Oh yeah, well,
animation.
He did kind of sit in the chair and pretend to shoot his arms up into the air.
It's a picture like Max Dual Decimator.
Yeah.
What that would do to like vehicles.
He was sitting there going,
It was hilarious.
And then Maggie was doing it too, and just the two of them.
Oh no.
The other funny thing he did was he said that he got paid in station cash this week.
For double station cash.
And he held up $65 worth of station cash. So then the chat room immediately said, Clegg needs a raise.
That's awesome.
Was good.
And that was it for FNO. Another good show this week. And as we say each week, if you guys aren't watching FNO, you should be, because they always have some good stuff there.
Indeed. So there's now this other new thing related to MLG called the War Report with Axeltoss. And episode 1 was on Sunday, I believe, and he was joined by Jimmy Wizenhunt. And Jimmy was playing, and Axeltoss was running Observer Cam. And basically, if you know a lot about PlanetSide, you're not going to find this very interesting unless you just like watching Observer Cam action. Because it was a lot of just introductory type of questions and explanations as to how PlanetSide 2 is played, and maybe a little bit about strategy behind it. Nothing that someone who's played the game for a couple months doesn't know, most likely. Anyone who's involved in an outfit, at least. So, but there's the Observer Cam. You got to see some of that, and I'm sure as the War Report progresses, it will become a little more, you'll get a little more casting because Axeltoss is a caster, and it might become a little more fun and less introductory, but so far it's just introductory, which is good because a lot of people still don't know about the game. So that's basically that.
Okay. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, and I think it's good introducing new people to the game. But like you said, I think it's more for that. So don't get turned off, guys, if you look at it and expect something more, because that's what it's there for. So don't get all fired up about it.
I'll admit that I didn't watch any of it, so
I had to skip through it. I can't. If there's something special at the end that I missed, because it was an hour long and a lot going on. I spent the vast majority of my time playing this weekend, so
double XP, you better.
I know, right?
Jeez.
I wasn't on top of my things, so I didn't really have. And today is crazy, so I didn't really watch all of it. So yeah, I apologize if I missed something crucial.
It's all good. We put out. We're gonna kind of talk about a little something we put out. I guess as of today. It's 11 p.m. We put it out this morning or last night. A little April Fool's interview with Matt Higby and Noxx's cat. And
it is all original recordings of my cat. We did not get multiple cat sound clips from the internet. I even made him hiss.
Yeah, it was.
Which isn't hard.
It didn't take much. Yeah.
Oh, and he came right out and used that hiss after Higby replied to one of his questions.
Oh, he did not like that response at all.
I mean, it was a brutal interview of Higby. I'm surprised he handled it as well as he did.
And he was so cheerful when he said goodbye still.
Such a professional guy. Such a professional.
He is a professional.
Okay. Deringer, why don't you tell our wonderful listeners about what was just dropped from Higby? Game Update 6?
Earlier this afternoon, or earlier this evening, Higby dropped a new forum post describing what we're going to see in Game Update 06. And he did say it's right around the corner, so sounds like we'll probably be seeing that. You know, last time I said that, it was like 2 weeks before it came out, but maybe this week, maybe next week. So Game Update 6 is coming. Here's some of the bullet points that he went over in Game Update 6. First off, anyone who's a member is going to jump for joy, just like Torkz and Noxx did when I told them about this.
Mhm.
You are going to be getting 3 additional character slots.
I'm pumped about this.
I know, let that sit in.
I'm just gonna let my level 1 collect 48 certs every day, and then I'm gonna just like spend 2,000 certs on a level 1 and whip someone with like fully modified stuff. I'm like, guy's BR1, how does he have all that?
I just wish, honestly, if it just give me one more, I'd be happy. I just want enough to have my spare one to pop around and play with different outfits at will, but have my one staple like VS, one staple NC, and one staple TR. I'm
thinking the same thing. I'll finally be able to make a NC to play in Devil Dogs with you guys again. Because unfortunately I created that one and then I deleted it so I could go play with Azure Twilight, and that's the third slot.
If I've wanted to play a bit with Azure Twilight, I want to play with Dropping Purple Smoke with you. I don't really have a Vanu like friendship on Waterson, which is where my Vanu's sitting at.
Yeah, and you know what? This Friday I'll be a member too.
Oh, when it merges? Oh, yeah, that thing.
So load up my additional character slots too. So the other membership benefit that he described was that members will receive an additional sale item each day in the depot. No other details besides that, so, I mean, we can just pretty much speculate that you'll have 2 items each day, whereas non-members will only have 1.
I'm
one too.
super pumped about that, because I'm a stingy man when it comes to spending certs or station cash. Now I get to be like, ooh, double the chances of getting something awesome.
I saw a little something as a caveat to his tweet. Somebody tweeted back, and he acknowledged it, that the members each day's sale would only be a single-use camo.
Don't lie.
Just joking.
You just trolled us on our own show.
I'm sorry. That was I was just trying to think of like the most useless thing you could get each day. You
almost made me depressed.
I know. I'm not
You only get single-use camos on sale every day, and they rotate.
25 cents.
For 25 cents, yeah.
My God.
Right.
Well, next up, he detailed something that's going to be called the alert system, which is a new dynamic server-controlled system that will initiate server-wide game events. So when an alert triggers, players will have a set amount of time to achieve these specific alert goals. And the example that he gives is capturing Indar within a 2-hour time limit. Now, if you are the faction that achieves that goal and captures the continent, you will receive, in his example, an award of 3,000 XP, and that's all players that are playing on the continent when that happens.
Well, it's like split between everyone, too.
No. Because there's 2 ways to win an alert. One is the dominating victory, and that's if your empire controls 100% of the goal. If no one achieves that goal within the time limit, that's when they split it by the amount of territory that you control. So let's say the Vanu control 50%, they'd get 50% of that 3,000 XP or 1,500 XP. And then the rest would be split amongst the other 2 factions. So really, they're just trying to give some additional goals for players that are playing the game. And I think it'll be a way to push people onto other continents, just something else that they can do. Now, the one caveat that we saw when reading this is that it appears that it's not going to occur during peak hours. It seems that it's going to be specifically set by the number of players that are on the server at a specific time. So really, during low pop times, during off hours, non-peak hours is when these alert system things are going to activate. So unfortunately, if you're a player who really only plays prime time, let's say after 8 p.m., your normal time, I don't think that you're going to experience these alerts a lot. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm hoping they reconsider that.
I hope they make it something that, let's say Connery right now, what I've experienced is the server's, decently full enough, but it's always on Indar. So I kind of hope they can at least modify it in the future, that they condition it so that, like, say Indar is really full, but the other two are virtually empty. It kicks off to send people to those continents, and it's not just overall population. Or if that population just isn't enough, to not trigger it. We'll see. I have some Tremel. Tremel's going to love this speculation.
Oh.
Do you think that we will get our Alpha Squad and whatever that other boost they sold a while ago for $50 and $30 plus membership bonuses applied to it? So do you think that 3,000 XP could be 6,000 if you have a 100% bonus?
I get what you're saying. 3,000 base. You confuse the crap out of me with the way you phrase it. But yeah. I get what you're saying though. Yeah. I would say 9 times out of 10 of all the times I've heard them refer to numbers in the past, it's always been the base number. So I would say that's true. Because when they always talk about you're going to receive this or that, they've usually referenced it as the base. Yeah,
and you get it for capturing bases. Not to overuse the word base, but
like 6 times, territory hex, whatever you want to call it. I hope that, I don't say my comment to that was, but that it's a good spin on it because it makes me think 3,000 doesn't seem like that much for 2 hours of work in my mind.
That's what I said too.
So their example is kind of broad. I imagine it will extend to territorial control, like specific territories even. And if you think about it in that way, like 3,000 is not a lot, but if you, what am I trying to say? If you go there, you're going to get a lot of experience just from killing people or rezzing people or repairing.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. If you're fighting,
if it's creating action, you're going to get a lot of experience just as it is.
Well, he also states that if you're fighting on the continent during this event, that you're also going to be getting a 20% XP bonus to everything that you do.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, I mean,
that I can see.
Incentive to do it. Now, like I said, they're only going to be doing this based on population, and their argument for not doing it during prime time is that during the more crowded hours, players already have plenty of options and plenty of incentives to fight anywhere they want. So it's less likely this will activate past a certain server population threshold. So they've definitely thought it out and have a valid argument as to why they might not implement this during peak hours, but we'll see.
Don't get me wrong, I like the concept a lot. I think it's a good, it's not totally a metagame piece, but it's something in that direction, which is good. I think it's anything.
Getting players off Indar. I mean, come on, let's be serious.
Yep. That's totally.
Anything to get players off Indar is more than welcome in my book.
I think it's an awesome idea. I hope they expand on it. I hope they do maybe multiple events like this concurrently, maybe even in peak times. I see why you wouldn't want to do something like this in peak times and cause like a 3-hour queue on a continent, but if they could expand this maybe and say during peak times when you have enough players to do this, say each continent has an objective, or whether it's a percentage of hex capture or maybe just this hex or whatever. I don't know. I mean, we can speculate, but if they could run 3 concurrently during peak times, it would give people a reason to fight, right? So
right. I think they should look at less than a server population threshold, more towards a continent population threshold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't do it on Indar, do it on the other 2.
Right.
Yeah, but you got to be careful about that too, because that might just turn into, draw everybody off Indar.
What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
And then Indar starts one up, and it's a cycle.
Well, I'm just talking about queuing. Queuing being the problem for people. Everybody wants to get there, which is fine. That's the point. But if half the people trying to get there are in a queue for 2 hours, it's just going to frustrate people. So, I don't know. It's a touchy situation. I can see why they put so much thought into it, because you got to be very cognizant of like each server's population during X time, and if their trigger
it's
is
all automated, so it's not like someone's sitting there choosing.
No, granted,
I guess my biggest fear is that I'll never see one.
Well, I'm sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Your biggest fear is you'll never get to see one because your server is always full and populated.
Well, no, because I only play at peak hours.
My biggest fear is that it's not going to get me off Indar because of what you're saying.
Well, I think we've done enough on that. Let's do the last point in Game Update 6, is something new called Service Ribbons. Now, if you want to sum it up into one word, it's basically in-game achievements. So what they're going to do is you're going to get new small incremental goals to fulfill during normal moment-to-moment gameplay. So if you're really striving to get these things, they should take between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how you play. They can be earned for kills with infantry weapons, vehicle kills, anti-vehicle weapons, support tasks, things like that. Again, they're basically achievements within games. Now, they're still working on vehicle ribbons, so those will probably be delayed past Game Update 06. But each ribbon that you earn, you'll get a little indicator on your screen saying that you've received it. You will get 250 XP for each one that you earn. And also, each day, the first 5 will give you an additional 500 XP bonus, which in my opinion is not too shabby.
I think this is awesome because one of the blogs I wrote was about weapons costing too much for the casual player. But this is and I had a bunch of solutions, and basically which was chopping weapon prices, but this is a solution to give casual players like 5 a day. So you do 5 a day, that's an hour if you play for those things according to their time. So average player, I honestly would expect an hour and a half just because you're going to get, or 2, just because you're going to get distracted and forget you did it unless you're really good at doing that sort of thing. But that's a lot of certs you're going to get for playing just an hour to an hour and a half a day.
And those are going to be on top of your normal cert gain. So
right, exactly. I think it's fantastic.
I think in the end, everyone loves achievements.
Yeah, I think I think giving people incentive to do their daily play, just to play. I think giving people incentive to play, period. Anything to do that is a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So
and this helps free-to-play players out. It's not a membership-only benefit. So
yeah,
I think it's really good, really good.
I'm looking forward to it. And I think just to wrap up Game Update 6, he also said that they got a slew of balance, tuning, and bug fixes coming along as well. And as they get closer to the actual release date, we'll see a full list of patch notes. So, in the end, start getting excited for Game Update 06.
So,
oh boy,
we talked about the NS11C, and that immediately made me think, I'm weird. I love the Gauss rifle on the NC so much that when I went to play TR this week, I hated all my TR LMGs. I couldn't find a single one that I was satisfied with. They were too weak. They fired too randomly or slow, blah, blah, blah. I was very annoyed with this. And what ended up happening, I was really tempted. I saw NS11C. I was like really tempted to hit up Jimmy and be like, dude, is there going to be an NS11L for the LMG? And lo and behold, Jimmy tweeted today, NS15M LMG. I'm pumped for this. I cannot wait. There's a picture in it. It looks like the other NS11 guns. That's all I need.
I love this. The couple seconds pause between there's a picture. it's like, I'm so pumped. There's a picture.
Long lead up for one thing, but I'm super excited about this because I like the way they have the NS guns fire, and I hate all the TR guns. I really do. I hate the LMGs for TR after playing with that Gauss saw for so long.
And Noxx, maybe if you're lucky, it'll unlock across all your characters.
I feel like it said my NS11C was unlocked today, but I didn't stay on those characters long enough to notice because I was just getting certs. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. NS15M. Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to getting it too. The community question for the week, or for last week, was, how do you feel about Hausen and content unlocking being postponed? The consensus we got on the forums and emails.
Consensus, it was like 2 responses.
It was 100%.
I was like, yeah, it's consensus. I mean, not a scientific study consensus, but it's a consensus. Is it short that people are more concerned with the core gameplay, FPS, everything else, and bug fixing, so they don't really mind the delay with Hausen and content unlocking. Which is not what I expected, to be honest. I didn't expect it.
It's relieving to me, because I expected people to be really upset about it, too.
We were upset about it.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised that no one else seemed to be too concerned about it.
I agree with these people's points. Core gameplay does need some work, but I guess I don't know. I guess I just valued those two more than I guess they did, which is fine. That's good. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm happy to see this versus what I was thinking I was going to see.
Well, to be fair, I mean, they have stated it, and we know it, being IT people that we are. I mean, you and I, Torkz. Mark, you probably know it because you're not stupid, but not everyone can do everything.
Thanks for giving me the benefit of the doubt.
Not everyone can do everything. So just because the map is not being released doesn't mean that these resources are being now utilized somewhere else on core gameplay. Like, yeah, it's a valid point. Like, okay, we want them to focus on core gameplay, but really the reason that I'm not too upset is that they do care about the performance issues involved with the map, and they're not just going to release this map. But one of the answers that I really did like was the one that said sure, Hassan will keep people off Indoor for a week, and then they'll be right back on Indoor, which is totally true. Unless
I can't really argue
Hassan
that.
has a crown. Unless Hassan has a crown equivalent, just like right off the bat that people know about, they're going to all still be back on Indoor in a week, maybe 2.
Hassan's just going to be one territory, a giant crown.
The entire continent is one territory. That'd be awesome.
Just a network of tunnels leading to that territory.
The territory that has like 16 capture points on the same territory. Hilarious. All right. Well, the last this week's community question for everyone is: what are your thoughts on the new alert system? And just period. What are your thoughts on the new alert system? You can expound on that if you want, but what are your thoughts? And we're looking forward to seeing them. That being said, we have to go on to the Community Clash segment.
Prepare yourselves! This is the ReachCast Community Clash.
Can I just say one thing before you start?
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say too. So go ahead.
Oh, hearing that bumper still makes me mad that you gave the name away before playing the bumper last week.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, like, this isn't the Civil
there's
War.
No swords.
Yeah, there's no swords in this game.
No.
Sure there are. There's vibro blades.
Next time we come up with a new segment, you are not allowed to give the name away before we play the bumper.
Fair enough.
Excitement.
Fair enough.
I keep hearing the bumper and expect that, the first line he says, I expect to hear, "Are you not entertained?"
Are you not entertained? Yeah. That's awesome.
But then it never comes, and I'm always sad.
Oh, it's too bad. You can go cry later tonight.
I'm going to go cry right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Steve to re-record it just for me.
Maybe.
Well, we had our first big community clash this last Thursday, and I think that we had a great turnout. Noxx played, Torkz and I gave running audio commentary, and we also spent time in the Twitch chat room entertaining our guests. And I had a good time. Did you guys have a good time?
Did I get drunk by the end of that?
No.
No, you weren't drunk. You were enjoying your Dead Russian, but you were not drunk.
You were drunk on your streaming power.
You did have a good time, but no, you were not drunk.
I need to note that you muted me over and over in Google.
Yes.
And guess what? It doesn't mute me on the stream.
Yeah, it's because your house sounded like
useless.
Sounded like your house sounded like a jungle gym for like when you got off the I was like, it sounded like you were just like walk through and just trashing your apartment as soon as you got off.
Was it the dog running chasing?
I don't remember. Oh, it was. I was like, oh my goodness, this is loud.
But guess what? It has video footage of us. Well, not Torkz, because he's still scared. And
not scared. I didn't have a video camera.
His camera hasn't arrived yet, but I say scared.
I'm scared.
Well, either way, we ran a bunch of contests. People were hunting Noxx. At least one person ran him over with a galaxy. It was a good time had by all. We gave out a number of dog tags to people. In particular, Fim Conte was our big winner for the evening. He walked away with a full set of Empire dog tags. Actually, didn't he just request 3 TR dog tags?
He got 2 TR dog tags sent to him.
Dog tags.
Mainly because sending 3 like exponentially more expensive to Finland than 2 for some reason. So,
but we also gave some away to Literary Bacon and Atreon as well. So congrats to all our winners, and thank you for everybody coming out and watching us this past Thursday on our first Community Clash. And everyone should be looking forward to this Thursday. That would be April 4th, and we're going to do it again at 9 Eastern. We will. It will probably either be Noxx or myself again streaming in Twitch.
I think it'll be you streaming this
week. If I can get everything up and running on my end, it will probably be me streaming in Twitch this time around. So if anybody has their heart set on killing Deringer in game, this could be your chance. And I think the last thing we want to do for Community Clash is announce our Twitch contest winners from this past week. And how are these people going to get in contact with us, Torkz?
Just email me, email the show, the ReachCastShow@gmail.com with what faction you are and your address, and we will send you dog tags.
No, not what faction you are, what faction you want.
Sorry, I apologize. I should.
Empire dog tag you would like.
So, without further ado, our 5 Twitch contest winners this past week. Again, you guys got to email us at reachcastshow@gmail.com. Pen15s, congrats.
Great name, by the way.
Erickson, congrats. Mass BTS, congrats. Rat Bacon, even though you ran away when we were talking about the cat, congrats. And finally...
That's right, he did run away when we talked about the cat.
And finally, congrats to Deathtune. Again, all 5 of you got to get in touch with us via email. Again, reachcastshow@gmail.com. Let us know what faction-specific dog tag you would like to get, and also your address, and we will get them out to you ASAP. Congrats again, everybody.
Alrighty.
Time for some university.
ReachCast University.
Jimmy, what are you doing there?
I'm playing PlanetSide 2, Mom.
Are you decent?
Yeah, Mom. What do you want?
You got a letter from the school.
Well, let me see it.
Open it up.
Jeez, I am, Mom.
Well, what's it say?
It says...
Congratulations. You've been accepted into the ReachCast University.
Cool.
My baby is growing up.
Doom, doom, doom. I love that little beat.
I do too. That's an awesome beat to that one.
So, you ReachCast University. Mouse sensitivity is back. I got some new things. So basically, the story behind this very quickly is I had a bit of issues with my aiming. And the reason I want to say why is because I bet a lot of people have this problem. And it's where the problem I had is I would aim to someone and I'd go past them and then I'd try and go past them again. And I had what I called the wiggles, is where you can't like stay on the target and you're wiggling on and off of them constantly. And I was like, I know I'm better than this. What in the hell's going on? So I talked to Jimmy Wisenhunt about this, and he pointed out some noobish things that I was like, yeah, I have that done. I don't know what you're talking about. And of course I didn't. But basically, the big thing is mouse acceleration. I talked about this the first time, I believe, when I talked about mouse sensitivity and setting your mouse up to help you out. And it's in a system option on your Windows machine that you have to turn off. And I guess it got reset during some Windows update or system restore that I had run, but whatever. That's beside the point. Make sure it's off. You go to your control panel, start menu control panel, go to the mouse option, then go to pointer options tab in that mouse window, and uncheck enhance pointer precision. It's going to feel really weird at first, especially on your desktop. You're going to notice an instant difference if you're aware of your mouse. It's going to feel really stiff and unresponsive. And as it feels weird, but you'll get used to it, and it's going to really enhance your gameplay, because basically what that is if you move your mouse the same distance slowly or very quickly, it's going to move the mouse the exact same distance on your screen. But if you have acceleration on, it will move it. Like if you move it really slowly across your mouse pad versus very quickly, it's going to go a different distance with mouse acceleration on. And in FPS, having it off is necessary. You cannot be good with it all on. It helps your muscle memory kick in, and when you snap around to kill somebody, you're going to, as you get used to it and your sensitivity, you're going to really find yourself just instantly landing right on their head without even thinking about it. It takes time, but it'll happen, and you'll just be shocked at how much of a difference it makes. The second thing you do is adjust your sensitivity in-game. And to begin here, if you have a mouse that allows you to do it, turn your DPI down to 400. 400 DPI gives you more precision. Is when you adjust that mouse sensitivity bar in the menu, it's going to make less of a difference, and that's what you want to get the mouse exactly where you'd like it. And I would start when you're messing with your sensitivity, if you want to do this. So you get something, like I said, 180 degrees for your mouse pad is a good place to pick, but also make it a bit higher than you would like it to be. I started with 0.20. And then as you play and use that, notice if you're over aiming a person. So if you move on somebody and you move past where you want to, or where you expect it to stop on them, I assume, and you notice that, oh, my mouse keeps going past them. So lower it by 0.02. And then keep lowering it by 0.02 until you start under aiming them and you're not getting to them, or you find yourself having trouble keeping up with a moving target. And then start raising it up by 0.01 until you get comfortable, and give it a bit of time each time you do this, unless you have already done a lot of mouse sensitivity tweaking. But then you can kind of tell pretty quickly. But for me, I can do it pretty quickly. I can tell if I like it or not. But give it a bit of time, and that'll really help you pick up your game. That's my bringing it back, some of the noob level stuff that we haven't really talked about, and can really help a lot of players who are just now getting into FPS on a PC.
Now, can I jump in real quick here?
Oh, the Razer thing, yes.
Yeah, just to point out, a lot of people are using Razer specific peripherals, much like I am. I use a Razer Naga myself. So a lot of these adjustments can be done right in the Razer Synapse 2.0 software. So before you go in and start changing around all your mouse features within, the control panel, try popping into your Razer Synapse 2.0 software first, because a lot of those changes are made right within that.
And then something along those lines is my experience using it is sometimes it does and does not overwrite the Windows thing. So if you turn it, I don't know what it does now. Maybe you can tell me about this, Deringer, but if you turn acceleration off in Synapse, it might not necessarily turn it off in your game, or it might not necessarily override the Windows. Is something that I know these softwares have been getting better about this.
Well, I think the question is, does it come set by default in Windows?
Yes, it does.
Because when I went to when you were talking about this during one of your streams, I went and checked my Windows settings, and it had all already been turned off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming the Razer must have done it automatically on its own.
It could very well have. I would suggest, too, if you are using third-party software, is avoid changing it there. Maybe pick something there and keep it set there and remember where it's at. And that way, if you ever reinstall it or something, you don't go, oh crap, where'd I have it? And then where's the game at? It becomes kind of this exponential problem if you're changing it in the Razer Synapse and the game. I would leave it to just the game if you can. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was avoiding lock-on rockets as air. And this is something I've always had trouble with as an air player when I play in the air. I'm not an air player. I don't do the flying very well, if you haven't noticed in the stream, the few people who have watched it. So I found this out when trying to use my Annihilator to kill air this week, and they were avoiding me without flares. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I noticed that they were dive bombing the ground. And what the rocket does is the pathing for these rockets is primitive. I mean, I don't mean to insult SOE, but it's not exactly an advanced targeting system and I really hope that they improve this in the future, because it really kind of hurts some of the gameplay aspects of lock-on rockets. But anyways, it will calculate where you are going based on your speed, and based on its speed, it's going to calculate where you will meet, and then it readjusts its trajectory accordingly. So basically, if you're up in the air and you start dive bombing, it's going to predict, okay, when I encounter that moving craft, I will hit it there, and I'll collide there, so I'm just going to maintain that course. If you change course, the rocket will adjust accordingly. But what this dive bombing does is basically it's going to calculate that your collision with the rocket is going to be below the surface of the ground, and it will just hit the ground. So it's really, I haven't tried this, but when I was like, got really excited, I was like, oh my god, I just discovered how to dodge rockets as an air. And everyone in Devil Dog's TeamSpeak started laughing at me like, duh, dude, where have you been?
The same thing works if you fly around objects.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of canyon areas on Indar. If you fly around through a canyon, a lot of times you can lead the rocket directly into the canyon wall as you sneak around the other side of it, and defeat the lock-on process that way as well. You know, it's funny you said you were noticing this. I was noticing this over the weekend as well. So I think we probably came to the same conclusion at the exact same time.
I noticed people were saving their afterburners for when they got a lock, when they were locked on, and then just afterburner to the ground. And that sends the rocket to the ground even faster. And even if you get to the ground before it goes away, then you pull up and land on the ground, and the rocket's likely to hit a rock or something before it hits you. So, I mean, now I say it's primitive, and doing rocket trajectory is insanely hard. So I understand this isn't something that they can just fix overnight. Like, it takes a lot of effort to get the math right, to make that rocket kind of do a realistic curve, maybe around behind the airplane. Like, it's not something they're just going to do. And it's going to be like, oh, yeah, we chose to have it do this and be avoidable. No, it's a very difficult thing to do. So,
well, you know, much like tank mines, this game's not real. So why don't we just give them phasic technology to move right through solid objects?
Just solid objects.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They should have that technology by now. I mean, they have nanites. The rocket can nanite regen through the ground.
You two are too much sometimes. All right, the good, the bad, and the OP.
Have another drink on me, soldier.
Okay, thank you kindly.
If you can look hard enough past all the death and all the sorrow, there are good things. You must remember that we will overcome. The good, the bad, and the overpowered.
All right, looks like I am up first this week. My good was the ReachCat interview of Matt Higby. In case you guys couldn't tell, this was my baby.
It was good work. Your idea, you put the whole thing together. Good work.
I think it came out well. And the fact that it spawned rage on the forums
made it even better.
Just made my day today. And it got a number of retweets Higby himself retweeted it at one point, and I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Now, my bad for the week is that I really didn't take advantage of this double XP weekend at all, and I suck. Let's just put it that way.
What do you mean you suck? You have a family.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I had time Saturday night, and instead I stupidly sat on the couch and watched Deep Space Nine with my wife instead.
Okay, that was a bad decision.
When I could have been doing double XP. And then Sunday night, what did we end up doing Sunday night? I don't know. We were doing we
were making the ReachCat interview.
The ReachCat interview Sunday night, so I didn't get a chance to play Sunday night. So really the only night I got to play was Friday night with Imperial Reach. So it wasn't even on my vein of character to take advantage of the double XP. But hey, there'll be another one soon enough, right?
I wish I had a family to not play all weekend.
This is true. I did spend time with my family and had good time, so during the day.
All right, so my good for the week is going back to my TR for the double XP week and having a lot of fun with IR. Not too much to really explain about that. We had a couple good ops this week and with Imperial Reach, and
well, I think we all had a good time Friday night with them, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
No.
Okay, guess not.
Noxx didn't.
I was hating my TR LMG so much. No, I had fun.
I was gonna say, I thought we all agreed that we had a good time with them.
Yeah, we did.
Even though they made fun of us, Noxx. I mean,
Did they make fun of you guys?
I'm still getting hate tweets from people like Ock.
For being Vanu?
For being Vanu.
Yeah, I still get the hatred. I log in, they're like, oh, the trader's back.
Anyways, my bad for the week is the queue system was having some major issues with all the people logging in for double XP. I don't know. I really hope that they do some work on the queue system to get it more consistent, I guess, for a good word for it. It made me wonder if somebody in the back end was like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't have merged all these servers. Yeah. That's what I was wondering. It's like every continent has a queue on it, and I'm like, this is...
that was still not true for Connery.
Oh, well, I mean, for the ones for Waterson.
For Waterson, every continent had a queue. The server had a queue.
Took me 45 minutes just to get from Esamir to Amrish to do the ops with Imperial Reach.
Yeah, and Connery was still in Darside.
Yeah.
With Esamir and Amrish completely empty and barren.
Well, that's my good and the bad for the week, guys.
My good this week was playing all day on Saturday, minus some fun with some car stuff. Did a little rally, drove way too fast on windy roads. It was fantastic. But playing all day, streaming in the afternoon until fairly late in the night, I want to say like 10 or 11. I went from 23 to 31, almost 32 on my NC character, so that was pretty sweet. And the bad was during that stream on Saturday, my dog starts puking on the couch, and I'll have a link. I highlighted it, and she just throws up right on the couch behind me.
And you're like, no!
I was like, oh! Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is something that people want to see.
Oh, it's not. I didn't do a whole high res. Like, you just see it up in the upper left-hand corner of the video. You see the dog get up, her head's down, and then you kind of hear this, and then I turn around and I'm like, oh no, she just puked, and then it ends.
I thought it was funny.
Okay, anything else, Noxx?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Onto the mailbag.
Oh, it's a perfect morning. Great timing, the mailman's just coming.
Morning. Here's the mail. Big bag, big bag.
Must be ready to get away. Very strange. What's the sticking sound? Going to take a look here in this bag of mail. Oh no!
Now you just open the ReachCast mailbag.
Alrighty. We have 2 emails for the week. The first one is from Natty. Natty, it's a fairly long email, so I'll cut the short of it. He says that he loves the show. He preferred that I really like this email, by the way, because I like good criticism emails that we get, because it helps us improve the show. But he says he's sick of us whining about the anti-tank mines, and that we should just go ahead and buy Mine Guard. But other than that, he loves the show, and he says the realism argument that we made makes no sense whatsoever. And I'll point that towards Noxx, let Noxx answer that. But let's all give him a quick answer of our current state on our thoughts on the Mine Guard. Or sorry, the Mine Guard, I apologize, the tank mines.
Am I going first?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. Aside of all the debate between, it's realistic or it's not, landmines can do this, which is, by the way, if you do the research, the vast majority of modern landmines are still pressure sensitive, so don't give me this crap that they're not. If you go onto Google and search it, you will find it. Don't try and BS me on this one, because I went out and spent a couple hours doing this, and so did Deringer. And the vast majority of modern landmines are still pressure sensitive. So GTFO on that. But anyways.
We're not making the argument about it. No.
Anyways, aside from that, the problem is, and this is the best argument I've had for this one, is if SOE doesn't want people pigeonholed into one option, and if this wasn't clear with the across-the-board explosive radius nerf, making it harder to kill infantry with explosives, I don't know what is. The common theme was buy flak armor. It's the best thing. You can't go wrong with flak armor. None of the other things are worth it because everything will explosives will kill you with one shot. Flak armor prevents that. Flak armor, flak armor, flak armor, flak armor. Well, everyone's pigeonholed into flak armor. So Sony's like, all right, well, let's nerf explosions so that people have options. Well, that's the real problem with the landmine thing here is I don't know a Sunderer now that gets anything other than Mine Guard, and that's not right. People shouldn't be pigeonholed into these things because players want to abuse a mechanic that's not working as intended. So that's all I have to say.
I guess the only thing I have to add to that is I would stop complaining about them if Matt Higby didn't come out and say that they weren't working as intended.
Oh, that's right. He put that tweet out, didn't he? Saying they're trying to find a way to fix that.
Saying that they should not be working by you dropping them onto an object and then exploding. They should only be working when they're driven over.
Gotcha. I don't have much else argument.
Otherwise, I'm never going to cry about tank mines again.
Can I say one? Like, my response there was...
shut off after the GTFO comment.
My response was not directed at Natty. It was just the general populace of many people that I've argued with about this. So
right,
sorry.
It's you don't just hate Natty, you hate everyone.
I just don't like this argument of whatever.
Well, when they're changed, we'll all look back fondly at the argument and
remember
you'll buy Natty a beer.
What we cried about.
You'll buy Natty a beer and everyone will be friends.
Yeah, he's only going to get a Natty Light. He's not going to fancy from me with a name like that.
Well, our other email is from the Hawaiian, and the Hawaiian says, it's a bummer they moved the content unscheduled, but in order to get the last system worked in, he understands why. And he honestly is more upset that the sort reset tokens were moved unscheduled. And so I agree. I really would love new sort reset tokens.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that as one of the things that got pushed off because, Higby didn't even mention that. So
yeah, I didn't notice it either. So thank you for queuing it up for us, Wine. And do we have any Vanu dog tags? Yes, we do. We have plenty of Vanu dog tags. Maybe check out the stream Thursday. You could very possibly win one.
I'm wearing one right now.
There you go. All right. Well, that's all we have for the emails for the week. I'm trying to think. I don't think we hit... Oh my goodness, so many thank yous. Really? Did you guys just writing these in the entire show? Like, just for fun? Nothing?
These are not even everybody. I was not able to get everybody because as I'm playing, I'm distracted. But a lot of these are the people in Twitch actively chatting with me. And so,
I saw 5 earlier. I was like, okay, cool. I can read 5, and now it's 30.
Yeah, well, there were 30 names on my list.
Well, we got to get our drink on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sufficiently drunk.
I mean, you're going to get the first one wrong right off the bat, so I mean, we might as well just go.
I don't know. Bankrotoss? That's how it's pronounced. Bankrotoss, Sergeant Scum, Sunny, USD, Over Unity, Strix Varia, Natty, the Hawaiian, Pin 15s, Army 181, Rack Habit, Death Tunes, Izanagi, Cobra 5 Mil, Antithesis, Kitten, Miniature Action Jesus, really?
I think this is just a drink because I don't even know how to pronounce it.
R3I1CUK. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah, I think it's Relic Cook.
Okay, well, anyways. Scourge of the Server, Ericsson, Lady Shade, Keys, Tasty Ham. I like that name. Ace of Creeps, Constantine 50, Ibla Daddy.
Evil Daddy.
Evil Daddy, bro.
Evil Daddy, sorry. Literary Bacon, Curtis?
Drink.
Whatever. Cola Septic.
You'd think you know how to say a word that's almost spelled like Cuervo.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Mass BTS, Ultimate Tox, Tick Gillis, Pork Wipe, and Master Lee.
And
that's a drink.
Sorry, I didn't see the last one. Rat Bacon.
Master Lee.
Our good buddy, Rat
Master
Bacon.
Lee. There's no A there.
What do you mean no A? Master Lee has no A in it.
Oh, Messerly. I thought you said Master Lee.
No.
I was like, whatever.
You still got it wrong.
I still got it wrong either way, yeah.
All right, now that everybody's drunk out of their minds, let's fly through our contact info.
Drunk out of their minds? What kind of lightweights are we dealing with? He only got 3 wrong.
I had a beer. I'm done. That's all I got.
We put all these names in there, and he got almost all of them right. Oh, I'm a little disappointed.
I didn't even get a chance to pre-read these because you were sneaking them in on me while
I was
the show.
sneaking them in.
Wait till next week.
Oh, man.
Well, if you're looking for us, you can always find us on our website, which is reachcastshow.com. Catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/reachcast. You can email us at reachcastshow@gmail.com. You can always call us at 415-787-3224 or 415-78-REACH. You can pick us up on iTunes and Stitcher. And as always, you can reach us on Twitter. Torkz is at...
Dun, dun, dun. He doesn't know.
Sorry, I was muted. ReachCast
Torkz
Show.
is at...
Torkz is at ReachCast Show.
Noxia is at...
I'm at Noxia.
And I am, as always, at the Deringer.
This is where I say thank you to the rest of the ReachCast crew that is not on the show. And that is Steve, Cliff, and John. Thank you very much for your contributions, as always. That's it. Hey, good start for the week, guys. I enjoyed the episode. Hope you guys do throughout the week. We have an interview with Luperza and Radar X / Maggie and Tony from the... from SOE. We'll have it out Wednesday evening, so look out for that as well.
It was a great interview.
That's not April Fool's.
Yeah, that's
not April Fool's.
It was a good interview, too.
Yeah,
it was.
Pretty
All
good
right.
stuff.
Everybody have a good week.
See you guys on Thursday.
See you later, everybody.